Um, well, hello. Chances are you're here because I don't know why you're here, but you're here for a reason, of course. I just want to let y'all know where I am. I'm not dead. Unless this is my ghost talking, but I don't think it is. I'm pretty sure I have like a physical form right now. But things have not been very pleasant the last few months. Okay. So for the first topic of nonsense, where have I been? I kind of been like in a mental haze for the last few months or so. It's been not very easy because life stuff. Life stuff is, it's kind of important to deal with, and I've been dealing with a lot of life stuff recently. The first thing that happened was the thing that kind of like set it all off. And that was back in February. My dog passed away after being kind of like, not really, she wasn't sick, but physical problems were popping up. And she was about 14, so she lived a long life at least. And eventually, one of her seizures eventually took her life. And from there, it did not go well for me. My dog passing was the first thing that just kicked me right in the crotch. And it didn't help that I was prepared for it. And I don't mean that in a bad way. This is like, it's meant to be something else in a different way. You'll find out in a few minutes as I explain this. So I had mentally prepared myself for this moment. I knew it was going to come soon. I knew that my dog was going to pass away sometime in the near future. And I made sure that I was to terms with it. I wanted to accept this and, not let her. I don't want to say like that, but I don't want to like make her burden me, if you get what I mean by that. So we had her cremated. We wanted to bury her, but it was kind of in the middle of winter, and it was like -degrees outside, so, digging a hole was not the best option. I'd like my dog to not be frozen in the earth. Yeah. So we had her cremated. I have her ashes. She's with me because reasons. So shortly after that, I managed to break the mental funk that happened around that time. Very quickly, everybody thought that I was going to be depressed forever because that's how I was back in the day. Back in the day, I mean like 5 or so years ago. I was constantly depressive during high school and middle school. It's that kind of story. So everyone thought, like everyone in my family thought I would be depressed forever, but I bounced back pretty quick. It was not easy, I'm going to tell you that. But I was ready for it, so I just had some mental preparation beforehand. And, well, that's where things start to get very ugly very fast. So, during the time that my dog was having seizures, she would, of course, with age and having seizures, she couldn't really hold going to the bathroom anymore. So she was in my room all the time, and, well, a room starts to smell a little bit funky when your dog is kind of just, peeing on the floor and whatnot. She didn't really number two a little like all that often, but it happens sometimes. But so there's all that stuff, that great stuff, and it turns out that my mom was not taking a liking to this, and she started to get very, very angry. The fact that the dog was going on the floor, she told me numerous times to just put her down because a dog's life does not equate to a human's life, as she put it. Like it's not the same. And that's the first thing that set me off. And later on, I was quite violently awakened by my mom screaming in my room because the dog peed on the floor again, where she promptly started to clean it up with her slippers and some paper towels, and then screamed at me for not letting the dog out. Like the dog, I was asleep for the day because I just got home from work. I let the dog out right to bed. So it's like a 12-hour period where I'm not letting her out because, I'm asleep, question mark. So she screams at me for not letting the dog out. I go to say something. She tells me to shut the fuck up. Runs out of the room. As mad as ever. Slams my door as hard as she can. I hear her screaming in the bathroom about how her slippers are covered in dog pee now. She throws her slippers in the bathtub, and they're still here to this day. This is like 5 months ago. They are still just sitting there in the bathtub. She screams like a banshee, goes into her room, slams her door, and just lets like this like shrill scream out, and then it's quiet. It just goes quiet. So that was an experience, the second experience that I had, and I found it kind of funny and a little bit not really like fun, like not really. I don't know what I mean, but I found it to be very strange, but at the same time interesting because my dog and I just had that moment, like where you and your friend are in trouble, and you both know it, and then you both like look at each other and just go, and like you just like laugh about it. My dog and I just kind of like stare at each other, like, what just happened? I don't know. What was that? She lowers her ears like, and like walks over to me, and I'm like, yeah, I know, Bear. I know. My dog's name is Bear. But yeah, that was a fun experience with me and her. I think I remember that fondly, yet not fondly. So that's the second incident with that. And then after my dog passes away, like, she's giving me this whole spiel about how she feels really bad and all this stuff. And then I say that I'm fine, and her tone immediately changes to like, oh hey, your dog's dead, good. Like, not really like outright like that, but you can just tell from her tone that she does not give a fuck, and that she's happy about this dog passing away because there's no more fur to clean up. She's not going to shed anymore. She's not going to pee on the floor anymore. It's that kind of feeling that you get from her tone. It's really great. And that's like not even 5 days after my dog passed away, and I'm just barely cracking a smile now. Fast forward a few months to spring, where we're cleaning my room up, and of course with my mom. When my dog was passing away, she was on the floor. I woke up at about 5:30. I don't know what woke me up, but I'm glad something did wake me up, because I would not have been happy waking up to my dog dead. I at least got to be with her in her last moments. So while she was on the floor, she ended up vomiting up this like horrible red goop. It's like stomach acid or something like that. It was awful. She puked, so I picked her up as careful as I could, put her on my bed, and that's where she kind of died. But while we're cleaning my room, my mom sees this red spot on the carpet, and she asks me, "What's this red spot on the carpet?" I tell her, that's where Little Bear died. It's like her last moments. And then she turns to me and says, "Well, why didn't you clean it up? Why isn't this cleaned up?" And I tell her, it's like, my dog was kind of dying. And then she looks at me and says, in a very stern tone, it's like, that doesn't mean you shouldn't clean it up. I just kind of covered my hand with my face with my hand, and I just sort of walk away and resume cleaning the other side of my room. I don't want to be part of that shit. And all during that, after that, she's just telling me that we're not gonna have to clean up the dog's fur anymore, and all this other shit about that. And then near the very end, she says, "Oh, here's like the last piece of fur. I hope you have like memories of the dog." I almost lost my shit at that moment. I came very close to it. But I responded in a very calm tone and said, "I have my dog's ashes. That's enough." And then nothing else was said that day. That is, I think, the most grand display of affection, like motherly love, don't you think? So that's been weighing on my mind, much so. That's one of the major factors of why I'm so crazy right now. Another crazy crazy, crazy factor is work. This has been plaguing me for God knows how many times, how long. I'm sure y'all y'all are very much aware of it with how much I stop posting anything or stop, uploading stuff because work is happening. I work at the grand old American dream of Walmart, where you do not have like a personality at Walmart. You're not allowed to be a person. You have to be a robot and to conform to whatever they say. Pardon me. So, scheduling is not a good thing for me because I can't work 5 days straight. I have set my schedule to be so where that I'm a part-time worker. I work 4 days, I work 2 days, 1 off, 2 days, 2 off, and that goes over and over again. When work schedules get jumbled up, I often get slapped onto 5 days straight, and I can't do that because of physical limitations. Like, if I do that, my chest is going to murder me because I had an operation done a couple years back when my lung collapsed. And if I work for too long over a period of time, my chest starts to bother me, and it's kind of like an increased risk of one of my lungs collapsing. My left one has not collapsed yet, but my right one has, and my left is apparently showing signs of the same thing as the right a few years ago when it went down, so I need to be careful with that. And if I do end up collapsing a lung, I'll be out of work for God knows how long, and that's not fun for anybody, really. That's not fun for me, it's not fun for people at work, because they did, pick up the slack that I left, and I'm, one of the few people who works at Walmart, actually works. And by the way, I'm not day shift, I'm night shift, so this is not, I'm a cashier man dude. This is, I move boxes and put stuff on shelf dude. So, yeah. When work schedules get jumbled up, I get to be quite angry because I hate working 5 days in a row because it's a pain in the ass, and on top of that, I like to have time to myself. It's that kind of, if it's a holiday, I understand, but when schedules just get jumbled up because, why, let's just screw up the schedules again, that makes me kind of angry. And then, of course, linking back to my dog dying, I was actually put under first level of coaching because I called out so many times while my dog was, dealing with these seizures, some of them getting to the point where she would be unconscious and not breathe or have her heart beat for a couple seconds. So I would, naturally freak the fuck out and call out of work saying yo, my dog is on the floor dying, I'm calling out, okay? I had done that enough times, which was about 4 over the span of about, I think, 5 months. So I got a level 1 coaching off that. And then shortly thereafter, I called out again because I was under some kind of flu. I think I posted about that before. And, well, that flu was absolutely murdering me because I felt like I was going to throw up. I could not breathe while working. If I left it a box up, I would be sitting down for the next 20 seconds because I would be wheezing. It was pretty cool. So I called out because of that, and that put me at a second level of coaching. So that was pretty cool. But then, Walmart essentially just gave me 2 coachings because I called out since my dog was dying. I understand that. I'm not mad about those coachings, but I got coached for something else very stupid, which I'm not going to go into detail to because it's not part of this, but work, let's just say work has not been a pretty place for me in the last couple days. Actually, this is very recent, maybe a couple weeks. So that's another, I guess, minor contribution to my insanity. But then there's the third one, which is schooling, where I am vastly unsure about what I'm going to do. I don't know. I've been in college, community college, for a couple years now, majoring in biology, but now the time has come for me to transfer somewhere else, and I don't know if I want to do it. I'm incredibly unsure, because the way it is now, I'm in a situation where I am debt-free. And I don't think many people in the country can even say that. And if I take the dive into college, then I'm going to end up just being in debt forever. It's a chance, but do I want to take it? I'm not sure. I really don't know. And it hasn't been easy thinking about that because I'm being pressured from my mom to just transfer as fast as possible somewhere without even like thinking at all. Like you gotta transfer right now. This is gonna change your life, and it's like yeah, it's gonna change my life. I'm gonna be like in debt forever if I don't land a job, if I don't pass the school, like I'm basically fucked eternally, fucked to eternity. Whereas if I don't go to college, I'm not as fucked if I don't get a job, but at the same time, it's very hard to know because on both sides of the spectrum, you're basically screwed. So it hasn't been an easy situation with my mom screaming at me to find a college and about my dog dying and not knowing what to do. I honestly do not know because either step is probably going to kill me. And what I was mentioning earlier about something becoming even worse is that if I get kicked out of this house, well, not really kicked out, but like told to leave, then I'm essentially just fucked forever. And I have nowhere to go. So that's always been like a thought in the back of my mind where I know like if one thing gets said, then essentially I'm just fucked. And it's kind of like a sobering thought that everyone needs to take in mind at some point in their life. And I've done it many times, even middle school. It's like, yo, it's like I get like if I fuck up in school somewhere, I'm done. And it's kind of that thought of just like I'm absolutely fucked and I don't know what to do. It's becoming something horrible because it's really taking a toll on my brain with all the other shit that's going on. And well, to say the least, I'm basically fucked. Like, there's no other way I can put it. It's just that I'm fucked because I've lost a few friends now to this. I have one friendship in the like lost in the limbo. That's a whole nother story though. Like that's a whole other like 6-7 year story, but we're not going to talk about that. That's too personal to go on here. But I've lost a few friends. I basically have like 3 people, not even 3 anymore. I think it's just 2. Just 2 people who like communicate with me on a daily basis. I have some other people, but they're like acquaintances, But I've basically lost everybody, and it's a little bit of a sobering thought because I basically have nothing left to me, and it really is this disgustingly sober thought of I'm not even sure what to like call it, but it's not a pretty thought. Let's just leave it at that. So yeah, that's where I've been. Isn't it great? It's been a mess. An absolute mess. And I don't know. I don't know anymore. Maybe I might get back into stuff. Like, I mean, I will get back into stuff. But same time, I think it's gonna be a bit. Because, like I was saying, it's been taking a toll on me, like my mental state, because I've picked up some very strange habits lately. Where, my dog used to do this a lot, where if she was standing still, say if I was in the kitchen, she would constantly pace back between both sides of the kitchen. For whatever reason, I don't know why she did that. She'd walk all the way around, and in recent weeks, I've started to just like when I'm downstairs, middle of the night, waking up because I work night shift. I wake up in the middle of the night. There was one actually I can use this as an example. There was one particular night where I went down to get food, looked in the freezer, saw nothing of interest in the freezer, went to the back room to check the other freezer, saw nothing there. I came back, walked in the kitchen, walked circles in the kitchen for a little bit. Like between the kitchen and the dining room, I walked in circles for a little bit. And then thought, oh, I'll check the freezers. And I stopped myself and I said, what the fuck am I thinking? It was a complete mental lapse for a second, and I don't know why it happened. I can't really sit still anymore. I have to unless I'm actively talking to someone or I'm so engrossed in a game, I can't sit still anymore. I can't stand still anymore. Like I need to distract myself at all times nowadays in order to sit still. It's become a little bit weird sometimes as well because I do pace a lot now. I can't sit still. So it's become a mess. It's a real mess. So yeah, that's basically what's been going on the past few months. 2015 has not been a kind year to me. Definitely, definitely not a kind year to me. Uh-uh. So, I'll see y'all's at some other point in time, whenever, whenever that happens. So, good luck to y'all in your battles.